University is this country's oldest and most prestigious college, but it's not because they have fair or meritocratic admissions. They never have, but it's getting worse. A lawsuit brought by Students for Fair Admissions produced devastating, hard evidence data that Harvard systematically discriminates based on skin color in deciding who to let in. I mean, discrimination is the basis of their decision. It is no different morally from anything that happened in the Jim Crow South. This week, though, a federal judge appointed by Barack Obama said it's totally fine. Judge Allison Burroughs said that for the sake of fighting, quote, entrenched racism, Harvard is allowed to entrench racism. Peter Kirsanow is a lawyer and a U.S. Civil Rights Commissioner. He joins us tonight. Peter, thanks so much for coming on. So what should we draw? What can we conclude from this court decision?
Basically, that our elites think discrimination is okay as long as they say it's okay. What happened here, as you just indicated in the intro, is that Harvard was engaged in pretty egregious racial discrimination against Asian students who brought the lawsuit, but also white students. To give you some type of a benchmark, Asian students on average admitted into Harvard have SAT scores that are 218 points higher than their similarly situated black comparatives. White students have SAT scores that are 193 points higher than similarly situated white comparatives. The court says that, nonetheless, that's consistent with the Supreme Court's 2003 decision in Grutter that allows elite universities, frankly, almost any university, to use race as one component among many to achieve the educational benefits that purportedly derive from having a diverse student body. That's, by the way, never been litigated, that there are such true educational benefits, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, but the fact is that Harvard could probably get away with it, even though the evidence shows that if they didn't engage in this type of discrimination, the black student population at Harvard would decline by more than 60%. The Asian population obviously would increase dramatically because, on average, the Asian students that apply to Harvard have extremely high board scores, extremely high GPAs. By the way, that GPA, that SAT differential is replicated in terms of the GPA differential of admitted students. So the discrimination is significant here. It'll be going to the Supreme Court.
It's hard to believe, once you see the actual numbers unearthed by this lawsuit, it's hard to believe that our meritocracy is real. I mean, it almost isn't. It's insulting that people claim that it's a meritocracy.
Yeah, meritocracy for me, but not for thee.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
of the more troubling aspects of this, again, this is a lot of the elite schools do this, but almost every other school of a certain level does it. One of the more troubling aspects of this is supposed to, as you indicated in the intro, be a benefit not just to the school, but to the students who are the purported intended beneficiaries. However, there's something called the mismatch effect, and there's copious data on this that shows those intended beneficiaries actually suffer egregious harms as a result of this to a large extent. In many schools, for example, 2.5 times as many blacks fail than whites. 50% of blacks congregate in the bottom 10% of the GPA level. And so a lot of these folks will also transfer from STEM courses to softer courses. Because you can't take someone who has an SAT score that's 200, in some schools is 400 points below their comparatives, and expect to compete.
But it's not done for their benefit. It's done so white liberals can feel like saviors, and you know that that's true.
So that the college catalog has a rainbow on it.
Exactly. So they can feel good about themselves. Peter Kirsanow, thank you as always for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.